Alrighty. Hopefully that is Matt Erdman. That is my hope that Matt is Matt Erdman. Once you connect to audio, you can let me know. All systems down. Is that Matt Erdman? Wait and see. Go up a little higher. Hi, friend.
And did you have to pay 25% on top of the 20?
Yeah. We're gonna get started because we have a busy half hour and we have an amazing guest on today, so we don't want to waste any time. Let me stop this here. Let me shut this off here. Okay, all right, guys, you ready for a quick half hour of just amazing nuggets? All right, get your pens, papers, your iPads, whatever you use to take notes, get them out. We have Jeff Matea on today. He's going to tell you a lot about what how he started, where he is now. The whole thing is he did an initiative of 90 listings in 90 days and he accomplished it. So he is here with us today to tell us that, some awesome scripts that are working for him. And, just to say hi, he's in the Maine area. Anybody know Jeff on here? How many of you guys know Jeff? Brian, Sue, Evelyn, I say Kaylee. Jeff, you got some fans here, so I'm going to throw it over to you and let you get this party started. Go ahead.
Awesome, thanks. Thanks, Jennifer. Yeah, I don't know about amazing, but yeah, the teams seem to follow, great systems that we put together, and you can see my sunburned face from 4 days of golf. Yeah, so we actually did 90 listings in 90 days on 2 occasions. So it is possible, even in a, small time Maine. I think where we figured out the trick was you know, it was to just continue to think about listings, focus on listings, you know, eat, sleep, drink listings. When you got to the office, it was, you know, where are you going to get a listing today? If you couldn't get a listing today, where were you going to get an appointment tomorrow? And you know, I'll ramble on and go off on tangents, so I'll try to keep to my script here. My coach did a great job of first telling me, you know, that it comes down to 3 reasons why you get or you don't get a listing, and it's pre-qualifying, presentation, and price. So the 3 P's, and you know, different than the 4 P's of bold. But if we would do a great job of just making calls out to our sphere or wherever you suspect that you'll get listings, and that you pre-qualify, meaning that you take the time to figure out, you know, are they ready to sell now, 30, 60, 6 months from now, and spend your time wisely so that you don't chase, you know, the rabbits and don't catch one, you know, chase 2 rabbits and don't catch one. So we would just block out our time to go at, we actually just had our listing rundown meeting, is who needs to sell right now, who needs to sell in 30 to 60 days, and who's 6 months or more. And I just did a fantastic job, and the team's, you know, done even better job of the people that need to sell 6 months from now is to stay on them, because then they turn into the right now 30 to 60 business 2 to 3 months from now, right? So then we figured out, okay, if we can pre-qualify and get on better appointments, and I would track everybody's appointments set to signed listings taken. So then I was seeing, okay, well, right, those are the really good lead generators, the people who could find the motivated now. And we wanted to have them be in that 60 to 65% conversion or higher. And if you could get to that point, then you could replace me. And we've had a couple of people do that thus far. And so they earn the opportunity that, hey, a listing lead calls in and says, you know, I want to list my home right now. They're the one that gets that lead and goes out on the appointment. And, you know, the call is, you know, Jeff saw another appointment today, or just they show up and versus like, well, where's Jeff? And we've got a script around that for those of you with teams, right? Well, you go to Starbucks and you can really appreciate that you get the same experience in Seattle, Washington, as you do in Portland, Maine, right? So it's really the values and the standards that you emulate, and not you don't need the CEO to show up to your door to deliver you that coffee. Excuse me. So then we understood that when we could get to their door, then we tracked, well, who was converting on those signed appointments, who was lead generating, but maybe not converting, or was converting well at the presentation. So then I dialed back and said, right, I need to make sure that my team presents just like I present. So similar to that Starbucks analogy, we have a 30-minute presentation that's canned. It's the same delivery, so that on the back end, the team supporting them from the administrative side knows exactly that, right? Mary, John, they gave the exact same presentation, so that the seller knows what to expect when that next call comes in. And I'll get to my system in a minute. So then I dialed into, well, who presented well and who didn't. And what I did is I had each agent had to go on a presentation, as well as my MAPS coach had that. The agents that wanted to really dive in and go all in on listings in the first week had to watch my listing presentation once a day in the morning, once a day in the evening, 5 days a week for 1 week. In week 2, they had to watch the listing presentation and just listen to it and write down what they heard, and then practice it. Okay. And then in week 3, and I might be butchering this a little bit, in week 3, then they had to listen to it and write it out verbatim, exactly every word that I said, and then watch it every day. So, you know, now at this point, you've watched the listing presentation, 20 times, you've written it out 5 times, and then you've written it out as exactly verbatim 5 times. And then in the following week, the 4th week, it would be watch it again 5 times, and then give the presentation 5 times. So now you're 4 weeks in, you've given the listing presentation or heard it 40 times. Now it's, you know, you could give the listing presentation, you're probably yelling out in your sleep, pricing and pendings, and this is how we'll market your home. I can probably share that video to there, Lisa. It's maybe 15, 25 minutes. So then I had the people that, got to a level where they were converting at, like I said, 65% signing their listings, to then look and see, well, right, you're going to get the person that maybe is thinking that they've got to live by that standard and get the conversion, that then I was seeing, well, their listings may not be selling as quickly as someone else's. So we wanted to then see that, especially in this market, 80, 85, sometimes 90% of your listings are selling. And we saw that, and I don't have the stats in front of me, but I could also share you how I track that. So then I would highlight in green, yellow, or red who was at where I needed them to be to consistently keep getting the leads, getting that, or right, without them knowing, I just needed to coach them on doing a better CMA, asking for a price reduction at the appointments, pricing it right from day one. Yes, not every property sells. I know it seems that way, but when you take, I think we've taken 163 listings year to date. They do not all sell. I just actually got off the phone with someone to get a $30,000 price reduction. But keep in mind that with last year, we listed 224 properties. So the market, being down about, felt like it was, the inventory is down about 30-35%, give or take. It still feels like there's less listings. We just seem to be taking all of them, or overwhelming majority. So then I would dial in with each member of the team and talk about price. And then they're held accountable. Like I said, every Monday at 11:30, our listing division has a listings rundown with the administrative staff. So one person's there from our operations side to say, well, who needs love right now? Who needs, the check-in? Where's this one stands? And then our transaction coordinator brings in these ones are pending, who is at the appraisal stage, the inspection stage, et cetera, to make sure that we're staying on top of each client as best we can to make sure that they move to the closing table and feel like, they're number one. I think a lot of people then say, well, how the heck do you take 160 listings and have a life? And believe it or not, if I go back to when I did it the first time and how they emulated each other the first time, we just had everybody all in from 9 to 5. I actually did not go on an appointment after 5 o'clock or on the weekend. And and you hear this from Gary and probably at Bold too, and I'm sorry to be a broken record, but if you get what you tolerate, you dictate your schedule. Your dentist doesn't just say, well, yeah, if you want to come in at 8 o'clock, or I can probably fit you in Saturday at 10 before I go up to the lake house or a round of golf or whatever. Sure, open up my schedule to you, and then you're texting them at 10 o'clock at night, and or in dinner, at dinner. So we just told our agents that really are successful to keep to 9 to 5. Try to set appointments even in the afternoon, right? I mean, Gary says this, Bold says this, like you make that specific schedule. It's well, I have an appointment. I have an opening at 1 or 3, which would be better. Can you do the morning? Unfortunately, I'm actually already booked this week, but I could move something around and we can make sure that 11 o'clock happens, or, do you need it sooner, like 10? We try to shy away from that. But when we got really purposeful and we gamified our calendar, we got those slots. And what was really cool is the first time around, I did it with one admin and everybody on the team referring me business. This time around, we did it with a few people that were just doing listings. And one individual actually listed 47 properties, and we counted that there's actually, I think in 90 calendar days, there's only, I think it's like 67, 68 business days. I might be wrong there. But to take, sign 47 listings, obviously you don't get every listing you go on. But this person was just, their schedule was, packed with listing appointments. And they still managed the time to lead generate to keep that pipeline going. I want to keep to the positive, but we can get to the negative in a second, is the, then you saw that kind of the dilly-dallying, shall we say, of, I think the agents probably that are looking at me on the screen like, you're crazy, is that all of a sudden, then there wasn't that goofing around on Facebook, texting, just instant messaging people or whatever, if that's still a thing, not AOL, but Facebook messaging. Some people don't use text. is that we would, you didn't have time for that. You managed your schedule such that you just filled it with, I either lead generate or I go on an appointment, or I'm following up with my current clients. And then we leverage it out to, well, could our operations director or transaction coordinator take some of that? So I get it. Some of you are solo agents or maybe a small team. We do capitalize that we've been able to leverage out that, I take a listing and someone else calls and says, Jennifer, we're so looking forward to working to get your home sold. It sounds like your house just needs a little bit of touch up, but you're probably ready for photos, you think Thursday or Friday of this week, because we already have a photographer ready to take photos, and would 1, 2, or 3 o'clock work for you, either of those days. And the other advantage is also when I saw that we are taking so many listings that the photographers, we couldn't keep up with them, or they couldn't keep up with us. We would go on an appointment and I'd sit there and say, it's Monday, I just signed. I know you want to get on the market for this weekend, so we'll have a photographer here tomorrow or as late as Wednesday, be on the market for Thursday. We can start showing it Saturday. I call, and then the photographers that we wanted were booked out until the following week. And that's when we said, well, we're just going to make the push to have an investment in our team and our sellers, that we brought a photographer on staff full-time that just photographs for us exclusively. We bought the camera, we own the rights to the photos, the equipment, and they can do other, other jobs and marketing and stuff on the side. So that's the positive. The negative is that we saw some breakdowns in communication. We were, and I'll let you guys just hit me with questions here in a second. And share with you some scripts too, is that, it was almost like the presentation. Sometimes we wouldn't give the presentation. A person would call and say, I just want to list my house. And okay, you go over there. Well, what price do you think? Yep, that's in line with what I thought. We would always go with a CMA too. Having worked with Adam in Vermont many years ago, we already knew, and we knew that we could price the home without going to it or get influenced by, oh, they did this and this, and it now is worth 20,000 more than in your mind. And then you just agree with the seller to get the listing. We don't do that. We already have a price. At least we have a firm, like, hey, this is what I came with before I got here. I might be able to make an adjustment, but the market is telling us this. So where I was going with that, before I lost my train of thought, so I'll get back to it, is that we would already go prepared and ready to sign the listing. We had some instances where the sellers, and I get it, it happened to me too recently, as you say, hey, they're so anxious to sign and they want to get on the market. Let's go ahead and do the paperwork. And then we forgot to tell them, well, this is how showing time works, or what happens on inspection, or hey, we hear about this waiving of appraisals. If you didn't keep that consistency, you owe it to everybody to make sure that they hear what you do consistently. Otherwise, all hell breaks loose. We had our admin staff saying, wait a minute. I mean, this person, I'm calling them and they're not aware of how we operate, or, they're surprised that we didn't hear about this. And so again, that was a wheel or two fell off, and we realized, okay, well, we'll dial it back. And I know you guys asked for scripts to be sent. I can find the sheet that I have a seller questionnaire. It's like an intake form where I go out on appointment and I gather information. And then there's another one that we call Pass the Baton. And that's just an internal piece where I'm gathering information about my sellers, so that anybody at any point in time outside of the conversation I have with the seller, when I get back to the office, they have a document that says, right, well, Jennifer is a high I, has some D, and husband is SC, is going to be really attention to detail. So when whoever you get on the phone, or there's pets, there's kids, lock boxes on the side door as opposed to the front door, so that at no point in time, the next communication, they're caught off guard that a call goes in. And we've had different ones where John is actually called Jack, and someone accidentally is like, hey John, it's like, oh, and then he jokes, geez, haven't been called that since I was 10 years old, and only my mother and my grandmother call me that. And you're like, oh crap, okay. we don't want to get off on the wrong foot, because then that also has your staff or your agents can feel really awkward, and we want to get off on the right foot so that everybody's comfortable. And then it also makes that impression that we communicate together, and that we're a united front on helping out on their behalf to get their home sold. Anybody have any questions?
So I don't know about everybody else, but I'm like taking like a lot of notes here, Jeff. And I have so many thoughts going through and questions, yet I do see Nancy has her hand up. So Nancy, did you have a question for Jeff? Maybe she stepped away. Kimberly said, what were the top 3 lead sources?
Yeah, the top 3 lead sources. The first one's Sphere. We stay on our Sphere very, very well. And the next, believe it or not, was Expireds. We followed up on Expireds, years and years ago. So I don't let even the new Expireds go without a phone call, a card, and then kind of the new rage is Golden Letter. So I know Maps has been talking about that. We owe it to our Sphere as well as just people out there to find out if your house, if we had a buyer for your home and you got your price, would you sell? So we have an equity text, a golden equity text as well. I might butcher it, so bear with me. It was, Jennifer, what is, are you aware that this is a seller's market, and what would you sell your home for? Are you aware of the equity that you could be in your home in a seller's market? You just want to get them. You want to initiate a call back or a message back to just say, yeah, can I have this information? We want to get to the table and talk to them. So even those letters, we were sending out thousands and thousands of letters, and the letter was just, Jennifer, would you consider selling your home to a buyer? Would you consider selling your home at 123 Main Street to a buyer of mine? If so, please call me at 207-553-2605. So I also put my office number, not my cell phone. So again, someone else would take that call. And the script there was, thanks for, calling Keller Williams. It's a great day at Keller Williams, the Mateo Group. How can I direct your call? And they say, well, I got this letter in the mail and want, sounds like you might have a buyer. Oh, yeah, great. Well, the person you need to speak to is Jeff, but he's in a meeting right now. But I can take your message and perhaps help you. And then they would gather information. Well, tell me about your house. We sent out a number of letters. So can you provide any more information about your property? And they would gather that, so it would allow us to call back. And then the agent would take that call. And, again, not getting too much into the script and dialogue, but it was really, we may have a buyer for your home. I don't know it without having seen it. But while I have you on the phone, let's pull it up on the MLS. Oh, great. Yeah. Oh, you listed it before, right? Well, where were you going when the property sold? Well, I don't know if I could find a place to go. Oh, okay. So do you need to stay local, or would you? Great. And then, right, well, we work with property management company. We actually own one. We have a number of buyers that are temporary renting, planning to buy, maybe when the market cools off. But perhaps you could also be a buyer for one of our sellers that's not yet on the market. Would you consider that? And so we just started to just get more and build rapport to learn their situation and why do they want to sell. You wanted to sell at one point in time, where you would sell right now if the price was right. And as my Maps coach has pushed me to, someone would call and say, well, yeah, I want to sell. Okay, well, but not right now. Well, how's right now different than, let's say, November? What would that do for you? Well, I just can't seem to find a house to buy. Okay, well, would you rent temporarily, or what's your situation? And we just gather that. Is it just you? Oh, okay, you have a family and pet. Okay, so do you need and then we would get into, yeah, fenced yard, more acreage. Okay, well, let's put you on our coming soon list. We know about properties well before they get listed. In fact, of the 163 listings that I've taken, there's still 35 that I've signed that are not yet on the market. And even in doing so there, that brings other people to the table that say, well, coming soon, was that? Oh, okay, yeah. Well, we also have pocket listings that we could introduce you to that are not yet available to the market, but we can chat further about that. There are people, maybe even like yourself, that don't want to advertise to the market that their house is available for sale. They'd rather keep it private. But if they got their number and the situation were to line up that their close date hit, we could, we could make that happen for you. So, I'm just asking for, 20 minutes of your time that I could stop by and show you. So again, would 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock work better? Do you prefer 11 or 12 tomorrow? And, geez, 7 out of 10 times people were giving us that shot. As a matter of fact, and if I could exit full screen, I don't want to share my screen, but we have gone on, we've gone on 272 appointments already this year and signed 163 listings. So, well ahead of, an appointment a day. That's all that's needed. We just want to get there because we know, and I think that the stats been out there is from NAR is 70% of people only interview one person. So if I can get there and I can get their information and I can build rapport and stay in touch with them, I'm going to get that call 30, 60, 90 days out or more. I have clients, funny, the one that I just listed was 5 years ago. So we've stayed in touch with someone 5 years after expiring. And now they're ready to sell. They hear that the market's hot, they're moving somewhere, and they have a need, and we still show up as, their trusted realtor. Although, other than maybe leaving some messages, sending them some stuff in the mail, I haven't physically seen them in 5 years or talked to them.
Well, Jeff, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. We have like a limited, this is such a quick call and we have to share content as well.
Okay.
So I have a list of stuff that we're going to be bugging you about that you mentioned in your 24 minutes. So I'm going to have Erica reach out to you for your questionnaire, your pass the baton, your video, all of those things you mentioned. We're going to do a recap of everything that Jeff mentioned, guys. Because all of it was, honestly, the way that you show your team how to present was absolute gold. I hope everybody, even if you don't have a team, form a tribe in your market center or your area and do the exact same steps that Jeff told us about watching it, writing it, practicing it, writing it out writing the whole script out, watching it again, and then giving the presentation. That was so spot on, Jeff.
And even if you don't have a team, you should record yourself just to see, kind of what silly things or ways that you say. I still, you get used to it, and then you make sure, well, geez, I shouldn't say that. And it's got to a point where I can read all the paperwork upside down, and I used to do a highlighter, but I would underline a word or two, and I hate to say it, but I could probably get almost anybody to sign anything right now. Because it's just delivered with, holy crap, if you can read this upside down, people they look at it like, okay, I believe that's what it says, with that confidence.
That's awesome. I absolutely love this. So we're going to get on to content. Will you stick with us and see the content? We're actually writing your scripts as you're talking too. So we're going to share some of the things that you have mentioned so far with everybody. And I want to show everybody the content for this week. To send out to your group. Now we have 4th of July coming up next week. Just a quick reminder, no call on Monday. There will be no call on Monday. So we will see you in 2 weeks from today for our next growth call. Yet today we have a power-filled toolkit for you. And by the way, don't jump off as soon as I'm done. We might go over a few minutes. I will tell you if you're still on the call, we're giving away a KW New England Mega Camp ticket. If you haven't heard yet, Mega Camp is happening regionally at Mohegan Sun in Connecticut, and we're giving you a registration ticket today to one person on this call, but you have to be on to win. Okay, let's go through our toolkit for this week. And you could see that we have Jeff Matea's, we have his scripts that we're going to share with you. And then we're going to go right into our 3 social media graphics. So our 3 graphics for this week is a nice little quick download on some questions you get asked in the real estate market all the time. How do I get pre-approved for a loan? How's the market? Anybody hear any of these questions sometimes? Put it in the chat. How much is my house worth, right? Can you show me all the homes on the market currently? So here are some fun, interactive questions that you get asked all the time that we're going to post and send it out to your group. Yes, every day, Sue, right? All right, let's go to the second one. I want to run through these really quickly with you. I want to make sure I'm honoring your time. So here's the second one. Here's a really fun one. We're doing a play on vocabulary, because how many times have you said something in real estate like FSBO? Ever say what a FSBO? I actually went and interviewed people in Newport, Rhode Island, and I asked people, what is a FSBO? You would not believe the answers I got. They don't know. So we're having a little fun with some real estate vocabulary, explaining what each meaning means. So listings is the first one, and we'll keep going with this as well. Here's another fun one. Obviously, we have 4th of July coming up this weekend. So a nice little fun this or that Thursday, and it's fireworks or parades. So tell me, guys, who likes fireworks and who likes parades? I want to see who's in here. I think I'm more of a firework person myself. Parades are always fun, but I think I like fireworks. So guys, we're going to share that with you. Wanted to make sure we went over it really quickly. Fun week of content for your social media. I'm going to bring Jeff back on here with me really quickly so you could see our drawing. So we're gonna do a really quick draw. Any questions for Jeff before we have 2 minutes before we do our drawing? Any questions for Jeff? What do you guys think of the content? Well, look at all the fireworks. They like fireworks, Jeff.
Sorry, what were the three P's again? It was pre-qualifying,
Pre-qualified, presentation, price.
price. Thank you.
You got it. Any other questions for Jeff? All right. So Erica has everybody's name, and we're going to draw a ball, and it's attached to a name. So, all right, mega camp ticket for our Mohegan Sun. Jeff, you're in it, by the way. You're in the drawing.
All right.
So, all right. Did you know that we're having mega camp
Oh, yeah.
at Mohegan Sun?
Yeah, that looks, I didn't know it was at Mohegan Sun.
There you go. All right. All right, Erica. Our number is all right, we got 257. Live. That's what happens sometimes.
Callie Green.
Callie Green. Callie, are you still on the call? You're on our MREA series, I know, because we were talking this morning. Callie, are you still here?
I see her on.
Yes, I am.
Where are you? Where are you? We're gonna bring you on. We're gonna bring you on. Let's see. Add. Callie, yes, I'm so excited. You just won a regional mega camp ticket for our
Great.
3-day event at Mohegan Sun in August.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. So at Mohegan Sun,
Yes.
we get to people?
Yes, we're peopling here in New England. We're peopling. We are so excited about it. So Kelly, what market center are you with?
Well, actually, I know Jeff's name because I live in Damariscotta and I saw you on a sign downtown and I was like, okay.
Well, Jeff, meet Callie. Callie, Jeff.
Yeah, Portland.
Awesome. Well, congratulations. And have you used any of this content on your social media or in your platforms yet?
You know, I'm a high C, little I, so I'm like trying to get as much as I can, and I'm just learning so much. And so but yeah, and so COVID was intense for me, and yeah, I'm looking forward to incorporating as much as I've learned and using it moving forward.
All right,
So-
Callie. Well, if you need anything, we're here to help and support you.
Thanks.
Jeff,
Thank you.
amazing job today. I know it's a quick half hour. You did great. We're going to make sure we get all the content out to everybody. Don't worry. It's going to be in our Facebook page, right? Brooke, our
Yes,
Facebook
yeah.
group, in our YouTube channel. And we're going to send out an email with all this. So guys, if you don't get it, I'm putting my email in the chat. Reach out. We're happy to help any way we can. Have a great rest of your Monday. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Great job, Jeff.
Bye, guys. Congrats, Callie.
Yeah, Callie, so excited. She comes on every day for the
I know.
MREA series, so I'm so excited that she won.
I love it. I love it. Have a great day, guys.
Bye, guys.